Now let's talk a little bit about configuring WebPort.
The first thing I'm going to do is access the WebPort's user interface. What you're seeing here is being served off of WebPort. This means you don't need any special software to program WebPort. I'm going to navigate to configuration to show some of the basic features, as well as how I would deploy a WebPort in the field. The first thing we want to do is set up your networking strategy. We have to define the wide area network settings and the local settings. In the wide area network settings, we can either accept an IP address from a DHCP server, or alternatively, we can input a static IP. On the local area side, we have three features. We can set up a static IP strategy, we can act as a DHCP client and accept an IP address from a server on the LAN, or we can serve an IP address to devices on the local area side. Let's navigate back to configuration and take a look at our routing strategy. In routing, we have a couple modes that we need to configure. First, we need to define how we access the internet. We can access the internet using either wide area side on a standard Ethernet connection, or in the case of a cellular unit, we can use the cellular network as the basis for our network connectivity. A unique feature with WebPort is that if both cellular and Ethernet connectivity are available, you can use a fallback path. This means you could use your Ethernet as a primary connection. However, if that connection weren't persistent, then WebPort could revert back to the cell modem and use the data plan as the basis for connectivity. The next thing we'll do is define our services. Services are used to deliver email, SMS, and files using FTP. When setting up a service, you provide both the logical name and the type of service. You'll notice in the pick list that we support email, web-based email, TLS email, FTP, and secure FTP, which are encrypted file put transactions. Once you've selected your service, you provide the address of the server, the port, the username, and finally the password credential used to access the service. Services will be used later when configuring alarms and using FTP. While WebPort typically stands in existing network infrastructure, it does provide some features that are similar to what you might find on a firewall. We can provide a blacklist or a whitelist of MAC addresses. Alternatively, we can also provide port blocking strategies. We have a variety of protection levels from open to an enhanced mode, which provides the highest levels of security by locking down the majority of the ports on the wide area side. The next thing I'll show you is how to configure your time. WebPort has an onboard real-time clock which you can sync with NTP servers to provide GMT, or you can also input a GMT offset to log in local time. WebPort's time capabilities are critical for accurate data and system logs. The final step is registering your WebPort to the WebPort Connect's cloud service. Simply click on the icon that says Register Device. You'll be presented with a login credential for your WebPort Connect's account. At this point, the WebPort Connect service provides the necessary VPN certificates and places them on WebPort. At this point, WebPort is registered to your account and a secure tunnel can be created.
Let's take a minute to talk about devices and tags.
In order to log data, you need to establish a connection to a device. Go to the user interface and select the Devices dialog. You'll be presented with two things: a list of available devices and a list of tags associated to those devices. Setting up the device properties is quite simple. First, provide a logical name that makes sense to you. Then select either the serial or Ethernet port that you're going to interface to. WebPort has 2 available serial ports and 4 local area Ethernet ports. Next, you'll want to select a protocol. This particular WebPort supports Ethernet IP, DF1, Modbus TCP, Modbus ASCII, and PPI. Once you've established a device connection, you want to create a tag map. Tag maps are nothing more than a tag name, a description, a data type, the physical address in the PLC controller, and an optional engineering unit. There are a couple of important things you can do with tags. Firstly, you can define the tag property as read-only or read-write. This means you can actually write a value back to the PLC by selecting the tag from the live data view. You can also scale a tag as well as convert a numerical value into readable text that will be displayed in the live data view.